What's good, everybody? It's your boy Eddie here, and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And for today's video, we will be reviewing an early look pair of a sneaker that is highly anticipated. But when the product pictures first leaked, a lot of people weren't fans of them. But personally, for me, I knew they were going to be an automatic hit. This is due to the fact that we have some upgrading tooling on the sneaker. It's leather, so it gives a more premium vibe. And due to that leather, it has way more longevity, in my opinion, than the Nubuck pair. But with that being said, guys, before we even continue, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below as well as that notification bell. And what we got right here is none other than the Air Jordan 4 Bred in the reimagined details. And I have to say, guys, this reimagined look I am completely in love with, because that leather just gives it an extra oomph compared to that Nubuck pair. Of course, there's a lot of people that are OG till they die, and I kind of fall in that boat. But man, just look at that upper leather on the shoe. It just looks so clean. And the fact that they did put the SB4 tooling on the sneaker, which means it's going to be way more comfortable than the standard Air Jordan 4 that we've been getting for the past couple of years. We also have the polyurethane insoles, which mean that's even more comfortable. And this back tab isn't gonna stab you. It's not as flimsy or plasticky as the SB4 is, but it's definitely not as hard as the standard Air Jordan 4. And for some people who are used to the Air Jordan 4 back tab stabbing them in the back of their heel or their Achilles area, this is not going to be a problem because it's a way softer feel and not as hard as them previous Air Jordan 4s. So with that being said, guys, let's just go over the box details pretty briefly because they did switch it up. So instead of having the all black lid with the Air Jordan Flight logo right here, we do have it in the cement detail. So normally the top of the lid will be black and then the bottom of the lid would actually be in that cement print, and they just reversed that to give it that reimagined look. And then when we go into this side of the box, you can see that we do have that sticker tag right there, as well as that Nike Air logo, and it does read off as Air Jordan 4 Retro, and the colorway shown is black, fire red, and cement gray. And I went with my true to size of a size 8, and I always 100% recommend to go into your true to size with all Air Jordan 4s. Then when we take this lid off, we do have that cement wax tissue paper right there. And then when you open that, we do have some little wax white tissue paper, but it doesn't really wrap the shoe. It's the cement print that wraps around the shoe. And now, guys, with that being said, let's just go into the history of this sneaker, guys. And there's not much to say. The Air Jordan 4 released back in 1989. Michael Jordan wore it, was killing these fools with it. Of course, he didn't win a championship yet, but this was the beginning of that upgraded tooling on the Air Jordan sneaker. So this is why we see that exposed air bubble, which started off with the Air Jordan 3. And then we have all these other details, such as the web knitting and all of that stuff, which made the sneaker a classic, not only on the court, but for lifestyle purposes, man. So the Air Jordan 4 is one of my favorite Air Jordan models overall. Obviously, I still put the 1s up there, but the 4 is so versatile because you can wear it with shorts, cargo pants, wax jeans, wax cargos, anything pretty much, and it's always going to look fire with this sneaker. To me, these might be the most wearable or most popular overall Air Jordan 4 when it comes to lifestyle fits, because you see a lot of people cooking outfits with this sneaker, man. As I mentioned earlier, Michael Jordan didn't win his rings yet in 1989, and he didn't have many major individual achievements in 1989. However, this Air Jordan 4 is a huge staple worldwide. And something else to note about the history of the sneaker is the fact that with the reimagining aspect, I love this because when you do have the Air Jordan 4 Bred colorway, it's really hard for people to think that that would be a pair or colorway that you would reimagine. And I love what they did with this, with the leather aspect of it, because you're not really changing anything. You're not adding no foolishness onto the shoe, no crack leather, no aging on it. You're just adding a material onto the shoe that actually would make it wearable for a longer period of time. Because for those of you who actually had Air Jordan Bred 4s or any type of Nubuck Air Jordan, it does get ashy after a while, man. And that doesn't tend to look good. Obviously, a lot of people do love that aged look, but I'd rather my Bred 4s having that clean Nubuck detail. And of course, with the Nubuck, you get some scuffs, you drop some juice on it or some soda or anything like that, you're gonna have a stain on it, and you could try to clean it off. But for me personally, I can get weird with that because even though I cleaned the stain, I know that there's a stain in that spot, and that tends to annoy me. But with this leather, if you spill soda on it, anything like that, it's black, so there's not gonna be any damage to the leather. And then you could just wipe it off with a microfiber cloth or any sneaker cleaners that you guys personally use. So with that being said, that's gonna conclude the history of the shoe. So now let's just focus onto the details of it. So in looking at this toe box right here, you can see that we do have that tumble leather toe box. And I have to say, to the touch, it is extremely soft and feels really, really good. One thing that I find really strange, and I've been seeing this on a lot of recent Air Jordan releases, is the fact that you have this kind of widow's peak on this toe box right here. And I guess it's just a marker for when they're creating the shoe to cut or stop right there. I really don't know what that is, but sometimes it could be pretty annoying when it has that super sharp widow's peak, but on this pair specifically, it's not sticking out that much, so it's not a big deal. Then when focusing onto the mudguard of the shoe, you can see that we do have that Air Jordan 4 leather panel that lays right on top of that toe box, which is a pretty clean touch. Then when moving towards the top of the shoe now, you can see that we do have that web netting, which is standard to the Air Jordan 4 model. And again, I love that it's pretty movable when you actually touch it, and that's a pretty clean detail. Then when moving more up, we do have those black laces. With this pair, of course, there's no extra laces that come with it. And of course, again, we have more of that web netting right there. Then on the top of the shoe now, which is pretty dedicated to the OG, we do have that Air Jordan Flight logo with the red Jumpman and the silver Flight scripture right there. And another detail that stays true to the OG is the fact that we don't have the red kind on the underside of the tongue tab sticking out, because when you look at the 2012 and the 2019 pairs of the Air Jordan Bred 4s, it does have that red detail that kind of just sticks out. But when you look at the OG pairs, it doesn't have that. You just have that clean leather touch, and I really enjoy that in my opinion. And then when you actually flip the tongue, which is standard to the Air Jordan 4, it does have that Air Jordan detail upside down, but of course if you flip it over like this, it will look normal. Then when going onto the lateral side of the shoe, guys, you can see that we do have that beautiful black leather upper on this Bred 4. I really have to say that I do enjoy this reimagined hit on it. And of course, some people will argue is that this looks like a red version of the alternative motorsport, and all of the red details were where the blue details were at. And I have to say that is pretty true, I'm not gonna lie. But while that stands true, if you do love Bred colorways, I think you're gonna definitely love this pair the most, because again, this is going to be way more durable and have a longer lifespan compared to a nubuck Air Jordan 4 Bred. But with that being said, guys, let's focus more onto this lateral side again. So as you can see with these eyelets, we do have this cement gray eyelets right here, but then we do have the Air Jordan wings cage. Also, something else to mention is the fact that we do have some more web netting right here on the lateral side. And now with that being said, let's just go right into the back heel area. And I have to say again, love the details, love how they did take the SB4 tooling and made this a little bit softer. Not as soft as the SB4, but definitely not as hard as the 2019 pairs and previous pairs before that. Also, now when going on to the medial side of the shoe, the same thing pretty much follows suit, guys, so there's nothing else to report on that. So now when focusing onto the midsole, man, we do have that standard Air Jordan 4 midsole with the black details, also the cement gray hinges right here, which looks really nice, and that exposed air bubble, which I truly love. And I love the fact that Nike was just trying to expose their technology. However, this ended up being an awesome fashion statement, because if you remove this from the Air Jordan 4, I don't think it would be the same sneaker. That when looking at the outsole of the shoe, you can see that we have it in this beautiful herringbone traction pattern. And at the top, you can see this red colorway, which is where the stars are. Then in the herringbone traction patterns, you can see that we have it in the gray and the whites. And then finally, right here, we do have that beautiful Nike Air logo right there, which is a pretty nice touch. And with that being said, guys, I do want to mention two more details. So when actually looking at the hang tag for this Air Jordan 4 Reimagined, instead of having it in that orange color, we do have it in that all black, which is a pretty nice touch. It kind of matches with the upper of the shoe and gives it a different vibe compared to that standard orange that we're used to seeing. And then one more thing that I do want to mention is the fact that we do have those polyurethane insoles, and I have to say, guys, very comfortable ride when you're wearing the shoe, and it is in that red colorway right there with the black Nike Air detail, and of course we have that polyurethane white detail on the outside right there. So with that being said, that's going to conclude the history as well as the details of the shoe. So now let's get right into this on full look. All right. So that's going to conclude the review as well as the on full look, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it for y'all. Definitely let me know what you think about the Air Jordan 4 Bred Reimagined. Do you rock with the new leather reimagining, or do you rock with the nubuck OG stuff? I definitely want to know in the comment section down below. Other than that, y'all, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Y'all already know the rest, so I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.